Good morning. What a day it's been so far. I mean, it is quieter today. There's no high winds and it's about 21 degrees here in the Blue Mountains and it's beautiful. And this morning I've spent some time cleaning here. We have a lot of pets, so tidying and washing floors and making some sense of the crazy. And then I thought, and you can hear the dogs drinking water out of the bowls and all that kind of stuff and walking around the floors. But what I thought today is I'll show you what projects I'm now working on. So I've got each ear. I've got two things that I wanted to show you. So I hope this angle is good, because if I do the live and have it pointing down, that's working well. But then I don't get to see you and talk to you, and I don't always know what's going on. Unless I do a reel where I cut and splice everything, I'm yet to find the right way to do it all. But here I want to show you the first thing, and then I think I'll show you what I need to do next. Upcycling all these various things, I was thinking about how I'd make a bag. And if you know me from probably 2006 to 2011, I think it was, I made vintage fabric handbags. In another life, it was called Cara Smith bags or Cara Smith handbags. If you go looking, you'll find photos still. I didn't keep a lot of them, which was pretty silly, but I had access to some fabulous old fabrics and remnants and things like that. So I guess I'm doing a bit of a cycle here, but I thought rather than actually building the whole bag, what if I used a canvas bag? So there's all these carry bags that we have everywhere. They get trashed, we don't look after them. They get kind of stained with disgusting things. This one was a nice clean one that I got from Vinnies, and it's got a lot more print on the front of it. You can sort of see through here. Vinnies constantly. But it was a nice deep canvas bag, like one that you pay for, I think, on checkout. And what I did was thinking about the size I might like for a shoulder bag or something to carry my laptop, that kind of thing. Mine's had it. I shortened the bag, so all I did was turn it inside out, fold it to the depth I liked, and then I did run with the sewing machine a seam there to sort of shorten the bag right up. So that's all I've done, and I thought that's a really good base, and it actually is the perfect way to recycle. You could do that with the really plain totes without, a lot of them don't have all this sort of, what do you call it, when it's kind of 3D and built properly. You can just get a straight little tote. It'd make a really good book bag. So then I spent yesterday starting to baste bits and pieces all over it, as I do. And just now I'm starting to, let me get this in front of you, build some of the stitching. And then I've basted all this stuff, and now what I'm doing is starting to develop more of the imagery I want all over it. And then what I'll do is side panels underneath and a back panel, and I will do the straps. And I was thinking about, you could actually paint the straps. You could do lots of different things, or I could cover it. I've got some, what is that weird embroidery? This sort of velvet, it's like a whole runner of velvet. I wondered if, you could, I don't know, maybe it won't work, but run that along somehow and then embroider the sides or something like that. So that's what I'm playing with today. I thought this is I don't know if you could do it with green recycled bags, but it's another idea. I sort of want this to be solid underneath. So I was thinking the green bags with the plastic that comes at the bottom of bags. I'm wondering if I could, it'd be slightly too long, but even 2 panels and somehow join them, and I'd sew them in. I'd just slow stitch, turn this inside out, and you could slow stitch those panels along the bottom. Anyway, so that's an idea. And I also thought this might be a fun idea for a workshop to do it this way, so I could help start you off and you could go home and continue it. So that's one idea I had. Rather than building the actual bag, which unless you kind of understand the construction, it might be tricky for you. So anyway, I'm still growing that list too of everyone that wants to do workshops, and I think I'm pretty much ready. I've signed myself up for a workshop down at Robertson on some sort of crazy embroidery at Green Door, and I'm really keen to do that and see how their workshops run, be involved with their community, and take a look at what they're doing. And then I think we're kind of ready to go. So I've got ideas for about 3 or 4 workshops. So coming soon. If you're keen to do something before the end of this year, let me know, because I think maybe we could start one. Other than that, I showed the other day, this was a French linen, I got it back to front, blouse. Extra small, beautiful condition, doesn't look like it's been worn. So I don't know how much I paid for it at Salvo's, and I'm starting to add some of that here and there. While I talk to you, my phone is going off like 100 miles an hour because I did that post on Donald Trump, Kevin Rudd and Albo yesterday. It's still going, and it's great to see everyone's comments, the pros and cons of Albo and Trump, and who hates Rudd and who doesn't, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it was my response thinking about decorum, diplomacy, how I'd never like to be in the shoes of a politician. Anyway, it keeps going. I had to sort of, I've set up some keywords to hide some of the comments with some of the hate. And my God, the hate. Generally, there's some, not hate, but people, you can disagree, but the hate where people can actually go for you. How dare you, you're a troll, all this stuff. And I think, oh, fuck off. But it's generally men, and they're either fishing, four-wheel driving, in army gear, or putting up photos of granddads in army gear. It's really weird. Holding up dead fish, big German shepherds. Oh, it's really weird. So there's a type, isn't there? Type for everyone. So my phone, as I'm talking to you, keeps going bang, bang, another comment, another comment. It's really good to see that people have an opinion on Donald Trump, Kevin Rudd, Albo, what's happening with Australia, the AUKUS stuff. And I thought I'd quickly share. Some people had the opinion that, look, I won't put my opinion in of Donald Trump. What I'll say is I'm enjoying some of the free media that you can find on YouTube, and not it's still mainstream, but I'm enjoying Michael Wolff on the Daily Beast. So he has written four Donald Trump biographies, and he has some opinions. He's had a lot of access to Jeffrey Epstein as well. And what was the other one? Oh, Mary Trump Media. So she's his niece, and she has opinions too, and she has a very good understanding of what's happening in the White House. So I'll just leave it at that. If you are interested in that, the reason why I'm interested in it is because my mother has given up her American citizenship. She came here as a 3-year-old child. I have a lot of family in the US. I'm quite distressed about what's happening in the US, not just because of my family. I think globally it's pretty frightening. And I'm even watching things like the farmers. This morning there's something about the soybean farmers have had huge losses now. They're talking about all kinds of losses. So anyway, let's do something fun and not worry about world politics is second. So that's what I'm doing. And then lovely Janine down at Lithgow gave me a whole stack of these, which are like a brooch with some buttons. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun too at the end, in the workshops, or if you buy one of the packs or whatever, we could, stick that on as well. Make a lovely gift. So that's what I'm doing there. Oh, and the other thing was, I didn't mention, so underneath this tote, I put this lovely mohair blanket that was a little bit worse for wear, but it's lovely and solid now. It's given it structure. So I'll do that all over, or it might be different fabric underneath, but it gives it a little bit more depth. It's a bit hard for you guys to see, but and when I was laying it on my knees, and yesterday it was really hot, really windy, I was worried about bushfires and sewing. It was so warm, like this lovely blanket, so I thought it's a great gift for winter. And you can actually make blankets. That's the other thing we could do later, but the blankets are much bigger. So I picked up some vintage linen. If you come and do a workshop with me, I'd love to take you down to Mountain Style, just down the road from me, which is an antique shop. Jim and Chrissy have an incredible collection of like seriously old velvets, like hat velvet and things like that. Beautiful, heavily embroidered pieces. They have lots and lots of doilies. So this, I've already chopped this one up, but see how damaged it is. So I think this is $5, and I've already pulled out bits and pieces. I'm going to start using this, but you could use this on dresses and all kinds of stuff. So that's that project. I'll keep working on that today. If you want to see me work on that, just let me know. the one thing I do want to show you, this dress. So a few people have commented on, I've worn this dress. I got this secondhand on eBay. Where's the top of it? Voluminous dresses. I always have all these cotton dresses, and it's inside out. This is a drift 4XL, and it's super lovely and soft and great for summer, but it's long. It's got lots of beautiful detail, all of this. I can't remember what I paid, but it's like, you know, when things are so soft and worn. So I got it quite worn. I just got another one, which I spotted on eBay, the same style. I love this style. And see, it's got all this sort of ruching down the front. And it's brand new and an olive cotton. So it's kind of, the kids said when I walk, it's like crunch, 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 crunch. So I'm not into fabric softeners. I don't think they're good for the environment. But, and I try to not use smelly soaps and things like that. But I'm thinking that's probably the only way to get that dress softer. Anyway, this dress I love, and I'm very naughty. I wear my dresses out gardening and things like that. I forget to take everything off, get sidetracked and start weeding. So I got a big hole in it. And I did this rough patch. I don't know if you can see it. I did this rough patch just to kind of hold it together. But it's time to do something else, and it makes me nervous. So it's not that big. Let's see, it's probably just over 1 centimetre long. I've got this embroidery hoop, which I don't ever use embroidery hoops and stuff. I should. It makes life easier because you can just get right to it and not get your needle and thread caught everywhere. And I thought I'd show you what I would do to salvage this. So the point of this is not going to be to match it. There was no hem. There was no extra fabric I could find. So normally you could go down to the end of your dress and see if there's much hem. On this, there's a tiny weeny hem. There's nothing there. So there's not like I can pick a little bit of fabric elsewhere. And I thought in the art of my Japanese trip coming up, in the art of sashiko and repair, you soldier on and you don't worry about that. The beauty of things that are rebuilt and repurposed and given new life is that it starts to have a lovely story. And I'm going to attempt that with my clothes as they fall apart and things like that. So I did a quick reel a while ago about my bra. So we all know how the metal comes flying out the side. So uncomfortable. And in the old days, I would have just chucked that and been really angry with the maker that it wasn't good enough quality. And now what I do is I've been patching bits of wool, so heavier wool blanket over the top, and it's holding really well. So I feel like almost as soon as I get a new bra, doing it to all the points, so 2 on each cup size, 2 on each cup, and then the cotton won't give. So if you've got any ideas like that, let me know. So this, it's time. So it's already got a break. I don't know what I'm worried about, and I don't know if I can get you any closer. I'll try and do it close to you. I couldn't find the exact cotton, so I've picked this. It's more of a peacock blue. It's as close as I can get. Doesn't matter. And then I thought I'd show you, I couldn't find fabric that was exactly the right colour. And in the art of sashiko, of boro, like things where they upcycle, recycle, keep rebuilding, you just keep going. It's the same as seeing beautiful ceramics when they dye and the gold thread that they put in, some of the artists put in to rebuild. It's very different, but that doesn't matter. So what I found was a little bit of cotton that I've played with. That's one idea. Ideally, I wouldn't have done a stitch on it first. I would do the stitch on top and blend it in with this cotton. I found a little bit of this. It's more like a linen cotton. So it's not close, but it could sit behind with some thread on top. And everything else was too pale. I found another blue floral. And where did I put it? It's not quite, it's too blue, I think. I mean, I could do it, and it's the colours, the tones aren't right. So what I'll do next is, I think I'm going to use this piece, and it's still, I think it's probably, it's it there if you can't see it. It's probably enough in size to then build around it. I'm going to stitch around it. So because it's my little embroidery scissors, because I have, go through there. I've already done a rough stitch to kind of hold it for now. I'm just going to pull that apart. I hope you can see. Can you see? This is the awkward bit because I've got to hold it up towards you, and I do it all sort of awkwardly. It's sort of like my husband's just had a skin cancer cut up. This sounds gross, on his shoulder, and he kept breaking the stitches, so they kept redoing things, and that's what this feels like. I'm tempted now to cut all the old stitching away and just restart, so that's what I'm going to do. Fingers crossed I do the right thing, guys. I don't like these scissors, so I'm going to use the big old clunky ones. They're back in there. I hope you can see. Right, we're going in. Oh, I almost need to do this like this way, maybe. So with sashiko, you cut away the dead or the frayed stuff. You can leave the frayed if that's like a look you want, especially on denim. It looks really cool. But I have to do this really carefully, not talk too much. Cut it away. It's Kara's surgery centre now, and I've already done something terrible here and made a little divot. Are you one of these people that kind of uses your mouth to cut? I kind of open my mouth, open, shut as I do it. So this isn't perfect. These scissors aren't that ultra sharp. Okay. Right, it's clean now. And I wonder if I can bring you in closer. Sorry. I'm going to push this down a bit. Oh, look at that. We're getting close. Oh, no, it doesn't want to go lower. I'm going to just try one more thing. I need like a team, don't I, to help me do all this. Try something. I'm just looking at a comment. Try soking the new dress with white vinegar. Old remedy. Okay, thank you. That's a good one. I'm going to try that. I don't want to use fabric softener. I do like the smell of all those things, but they tend to make me a bit headachy. All right. Can we see? I'm going to kind of hold it there. The next step is... oh, God. Where have I put it now? Oh, this is not very professional, is it? Look, here it is. Right, here's our piece. I'm going to turn it inside out and attach this to the back of it. Oh, my God. This is long and exhausting, isn't it? I hope you don't have anything else you need to do this second. Except watch Kara's terrible fixes. Right. There we go. And we'll just put that down to face there. And I'll grab a couple of pins. And go, okay. The other thing is this dress is so much fabric. I've got to go up and down trying to get to the bottom of it. Where's it? Even if I could find an armhole. People that do this kind of professionally don't do it this way, do they? They do it all nicely and neatly. And if I did a reel, I could cut it, all the crap out of it. All right, so that's kind of there. And I think what I'll do is just lock it in, holding my hands like that. My fingers are fumbling away now. You guys make me nervous. Stage fright. Stabbing myself. All right, we'll just do it like that to start with, just to get it locked in. I really love these pins with the button heads. You see? I don't know if you can see. So I'm going to Japan in January, and I cannot find a sashiko workshop the dates I need it to be happening because we're with family and travelling. Only got so many days here and there. It needs to be a bit tighter. But Takayama I am going to, and there's an incredible sashiko shop there with boro, things like that. So the art of sashiko and boro, from what I understand, is a truly mountain style because it was for poorer communities when they couldn't afford to keep buying new clothes, and they would mend, and now these fabrics and kimonos and gowns and things are worth a lot of money that are mended to death, that kind of take their own life on, like a new life. So you can see there. So what I'm going to do is, I think what I'll do is do some stitching like this on the top. So I think my first thing, I wonder if I should just sashiko straight on top. Is that what I should do? Probably. And now I'm thinking maybe if I will. I'll do that. Actually, I'll just use this to start with. Okay, I can do a nice thick chunky thread later if I really want to, but I'll just sashiko this now. And I should go underneath her, shouldn't I? And then we can fix it up a bit later. I'll go a bit wider. Oh gosh, what am I doing? Good to make these decisions before I go live, hey? But thank you for that hot tip on the dress, because it's making me not want to wear it because it is so crunchy and new. I really like soft clothes. Soft, comfortable clothes. Now, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. So, really, I'll try and make sure I've got the piece underneath. And it's really hard doing it on this angle. I wish I could lay this flat. And I won't try and be perfect. I just want to get a few loaded on the needle. Try not to pull the needle through. I don't know if you can see that. I just need to, I've got the wrong grip on this. So if anyone's got any hot tips for finding a sashiko workshop, I'm going to Tokyo, Takayama and Kanazawa, and I cannot find anything. And the problem is that I'm there in January. So that's the problem, is that people are on leave and doing their own thing, and there are workshops, it's just the timing. So I'll see if you can see that. I don't know if you can. I'll try and keep this nice and flat. I'll just go to the end. So that's the end of the fabric there. Okay, there's one more there. So what I'm going to do is duck underneath here. I don't know if you can see. Sorry, it's hard when it's a dark thread too. Can you see? I don't even know if you can see. Someone will let me know. Anyway, I'm now going to go back this way. So you can see, like, it won't be perfect, but it's like I always wear these sort of voluminous dresses, so you probably won't be able to see that it's got a patch job on it. I mean, I'll be able to feel there's a slight difference in weight, and it'll move slightly different there, I guess. I don't know, maybe I don't really notice things. I don't notice when there's holes in them either. So what we're going to do is go straight over the patch. I'm still seeing comments about Kevin Rudd and Trump come up. It's such a weird mix, isn't it, to do, I haven't got this tight enough, to do politics mix with stitching. But anyway, that's what it is. All right, which way are we going? And this doesn't have to be perfect. The other thing is, it's not in a section where you're going to see. It's a big voluminous dress. It's got a lot of fabric. It's halfway down. But when I go op shopping, when I go looking for things to upcycle and use in projects or resell, I can't tell you. So if I spot the holes, I'm lucky, because that means the op shop hasn't thrown them. They throw this stuff if it's not 100%. And it's very hard to explain to op shops, please don't throw it straight away if it's actually mendable. And this is what we all, I think, need to learn, is how do we salvage and mend rather than, I'm just doing this individually rather than trying to load up the stitches. I'll try and load the stitches for you again. I'm just on a really weird angle. We're chucking things that actually still have life. The other thing I do with flannelette pajamas, I don't know if anyone else does this, is when the when the bum or the crotch goes or the knees go, or the elastic, but it's kind of, they're finished, like they don't really have another life. I chop them all up, chuck the crotch, chuck the bum, whatever's not 100%. The flannelette is gorgeous, and you can still use it for even things like cloths to clean the car or, in the kitchen. I've already got a knot. So it's just, we've got all these fabrics and clothing and all this stuff everywhere that we've accumulated, and we just toss it because you walk back into bloody Kmart or whatever, and it's $5 for another pair of pants, or another pajama pants or whatever. So we have done this to ourselves, this whole world thing of having access to so much cheap clothing. We're spoilt. and I'm going to sound like an old lady when I say back in my day, but like I'm 52. I don't know if anyone else out there is similar, but growing up, I had one Le Coq Sportif velour tracksuit, and I loved it to death, but that was it. I had to look after it. Like, there's no other tracksuits. So, yeah, not that we want to go back to only having one thing, but, we are spoiled. And there's a lot of plastic clothing out there, like, yuck. You're putting polyester all over you. Gross. And yes, I do have Hawaiian shirts that are polyester. Anyway, one step at a time, hey? I would love someone to make my shirts as like a drop shipping or made to order style in cotton or rayon, or it will happen. I think 5-10 years ago you couldn't even access like for me I get someone just to make my t-shirts directly. They don't have to come here and then I send them out. So 5-10 years ago that wasn't happening in Australia. Now it is. So yeah, we all get it wrong. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Oh, I might do a decorative stitch afterwards or something, like a colourful stitch, but I'm just trying to... Basically, I'm basting it. I'm trying to just get this down so I can then handle it without it going everywhere. So I don't know if I'm doing a good job. But anyway, you get the drift. And my whole intention here is to show you, if I can bloody well do this, you can. Because I'm not good at it. I just do it. So the other thing you could do is you could run an alternative coloured thread over the top, sort of like, like this, or actually this would have been nice too. But you could run that, so make it intentional, so make it look like, yes, this has been given another lease on life, and I'm proud of it. You could put an embroidered bird there. You could do all kinds of stuff. I'm just kind of repairing it so I can keep using it. So that's, I don't know if you can see that now, that's the first step there. And I hate the hoop, but I thought I'd better try it. It's because it's so soft, it's just pulling through. I haven't got it tied enough, I don't think. So let's see. I'll take that back through. And we'll flip this. All right, so this is the area I've worked on. So I could probably cut this little section off here. I don't need that. Where's my... Does anyone have these pinking shears? These are awesome because if you don't have an overlocker, you can sew and not have your fabrics run. So I'm just cutting that a bit shorter. But what I do, I might even cut the corners a bit rounded too so they don't flap, and then I can decide if I want to do... Did I just drop my pin down my chop? I don't know what happened. Oh no, it went down there. Oh, Cara. Anyway, so we'll just finish this thread off. So this is my, this is the sort of stuff you could just do in front of the TV. That's better. I'm holding this better now. Just going to get rid of this thread and then decide what the next thing is. What do you think I should do? Actually, I've got some that, I've got the kind of peachy colour that's on the flowers. I have got that. I could just contrast that thread and make it look sort of intentional. It's really not this properly. It's just this needle isn't the right weight now, I can see. Now that I've loaded it up a bit, it's not happy. Anyway. So I can't wait to do a workshop. So I didn't go to plan yesterday with lovely Sharon. She wasn't well. But I am just kind of dreaming about all this. I'll take off a little bit more. What we could do. Still with me? Look, it's pretty rough, but that's kind of what it is. And then I think what the next step is we'll do some better stitching. So I'm just going to loosen this. Yeah, I think I'm ready. I'm procrastinating a hell of a lot, but that's what I do. It's kind of, it's nerves, and it's what if they don't come. It's what if they're bored? What if I'm not good enough? Imposter syndrome, all of that. And I used to do workshops, so I don't know why I'm having such a problem with it. Yeah, so anyway, that's my thoughts. My thing's still going off. All the comments. Did you comment on the Kevin Rudd Trump thing? That's better, it's a bit tighter now. It's so soft, this fabric is just falling through. Right. I wonder if you can see if I lay it flat a bit more. Oh, that's nice. Will it stay like that, or it just wants to keep popping up? So we can lower this a bit more. I've joined some really good Facebook pages too of watching people upcycle and repair things, and I'm loving it. I'm learning so much. I have so many ideas watching what people are doing. All right, that's it there. So that's the first step, and then I can, I might do a stitch right round there now. So I've got to work out where to put the cotton after all that. Onto this bloody dress. Where did I put? Here it is. So what I'm worrying about now is that this will lift. So you could run the edge. You can leave it and let it fray. Fraying's really nice as well. I could let it fray. Some people do those amazing repair jobs where you can't actually see where the hole was originally. This was a tear, I think, from blackberry. So in the mountains we have such a weed problem, and if you don't stay on it like me, it just gets out of control. And sorry, I've lost this thread. And then I wander out in my dress and get sidetracked, start weeding, and then realise I've ripped my dress. I go out my gumboots or my thongs. Sometimes I have gloves, sometimes I don't. Here we go. And then next thing you know, I have to repair something. And you think I'd have something I could just throw on or change, but that would be too easy. So this is the sort of thing I was talking about. I'm going to go through the top, which most people don't. I'm going to hide the thread tail underneath. You can do it in front of the television. It's very calming. I think of our mothers and grandmothers and people that would have done this originally. Every night, darning socks or whatever, failing eyesight and all that kind of stuff. And in some ways, it's probably backwards in people's eyes, that it's going backwards for women. I don't have to do anyone else's bloody repairs. I'm doing mine. So think about it like that. You don't have to, it's not about, fixing your man's clothes. This is about doing what you love to do. My husband rough sews all his shorts fixed up in the crotch and the bum in really bad stitching. But he's as proud as punch. He thinks it looks terrific. I'm always mortified. He then, goes out to see a client like that. But he thinks it's great. So, who am I to say what he should do with his fashion? He could also just go and buy another pair of work shorts, but no. So he's doing his own. Oh God, this is just terrible. This is just getting caught everywhere. I don't know if you can see. It's just starting to hold the edges. But yeah, it's very calming and therapeutic to fix things. We grew up darning socks and fixing buttons and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if that's something everyone else did. This cotton is just going to give me the shits. It's like a polyester cotton, which is the only colour I could find. I'm trying to near you. I thought the other idea for workshops is you could have it like I've seen others do like community days. So you bring your own projects in. I don't know how that works. Maybe it would be the other thing I'm thinking is if people couldn't afford a workshop and trying to be inclusive, if we did a community day and all shared a plate, and because it's my shop and I don't have to pay space, it would be less like not a conventional workshop, then it would be more about a community day. I'm very aware, as I'm finding for myself, that I can't afford everything, and I like the idea of being inclusive so everyone can be a part of it. Now, the problem with my shop is it's something that's always bugged me, but there's nothing I can do. It's not very good for wheelchair access. It has 2 steps up the front, which my shop's a historic shop. I can't do anything to change it. And the toilet's up the side of the building in like an outhouse. So it's not great for everyone. And my apologies. What I was thinking is down the track is if others would like to do a workshop and my access is no good, I could look at booking the Victoria and Albert or somewhere else nearby to host the space. Like I'd pay to use the space. But I guess first things first is I want to know who's keen. I guess ability, as in like your sewing ability and do you need access, things like that. And then from there we can work out what the next process is, what's the next step, because until you do it, you don't really, or unless this is your background, you don't really know what you're supposed to be looking for. Look, this just keeps getting caught. I'm just going to pull at it. Anyway. I don't know if anyone's still there. So I've already forgotten about you. I'm onto this. Now, if you had a dress with a hole and you thought, but I don't have the fabric, you could go to your local tip and see if there's a pair of old denim jeans or, you know, something like that. You could ask around. Everyone in the family might have an old T-shirt, or not T-shirt because that's stretch fabric, but you could ask, look in someone's fabric stash if they're a fabric person. You could ask before your family throws out their recycled clothing to go to the salvos. Can I have a quick look? Has anyone got a bit of fabric like this? And ask on Facebook pages where you've got community and say, can anyone help me? I need a little bit of this. Does anyone have something similar? There might be someone there. And oh my God, this cotton is just a pain in the ass. I'm now trying to pull it through. But anyway, you get the gist of what I'm doing. So I'm kind of holding the edges now. There we go. I'll show you quickly. See, there's so much dress here. So I'm just holding the edges here, and this side hasn't been done. And then from there, I was thinking if I've got the right thread. Something maybe like this. This is, oh, it's not quite the right colour. But then I could sashiko across there. Should I keep going? I don't know what I should do. I'll try and finish this quickly. And then I'll show you what I would do for the thread on top. See, the other thing with sashiko, look at this terrible hoop I've got. You could do a swirly. So rather than doing straight stitching, you could do like see how this has got a sort of a swirly design? You could just add a swirl and do like centrical circles going all the way in. You could do a flower like a daisy. But how cool is it to, I'm just going to finish it this way, not pull it through in sort of rough blanket stitch I'm doing. You start to take a little bit more, I guess, pride in your clothes, but also that you can hang on to things and look after things if you know how. So this is all stuff, like I'll tell you the truth. I've poo-pooed this for years because I was raised on second-hand clothes. So I never had anything exciting. My mother was a second-hand clothes dealer. All our clothes growing up were second-hand. We never had money. But this is where I learnt all this stuff. Now, the thing is, all I wanted was new and clean and, you know, not someone else's clothing, all of that. But when that, I guess when we were sort of imploding with the Sheins of the world and the access to polyester, cheap, mass-produced, like constant colour changes and stay in fashion and all this stuff, and seeing the quality drop in the big department stores and the big shops online, I've gone back and just thought, you know what, it's just crap out there. There's so much crap. I do like this is a drift. I think their dresses are beautiful. I love picking them up secondhand. New, their dresses I think are about $280, so it's a lot of money. Again, that's why I shouldn't throw this out. I should fix it. This is the one I'm wearing is River Goddess, and it's an Indian cotton. I think they're really expensive too. This one I did buy new. I did like a pay in full, like an afterpay thing. When I had a bit more money. But I wear this dress like there's no tomorrow. When it eventually dies and gets really thin, it'll become a night dress because I love Indian cotton when it becomes super soft. And then it will probably go to scraps and patches and things like that as I talk to you again. As I move into the next stage with it. So everything, I try and hang on to it. So yeah, sometimes I do invest in good things. So it doesn't look like much now, but that's just where it's kind of hemmed in. And I don't have to worry now about it coming apart. So we've put the navy fabric at the back. I'm just going to finish this off. I'm now rushing it to show you the next bit. So what could we do? It doesn't need to be a work of art either, guys. It's just about longevity. If you haven't had a look at classic like sashiko or boro work, the Japanese mending, please take a look online. If you'd like me to put some links up, let me know. It's fascinating, like absolutely fascinating. And where I think classically or traditionally the poorer people would wear indigo dyed clothing. I believe, if I'm wrong, let me know. And so indigo with the natural cotton threads or blue threads or white threads, whatever they could find, was how they then, put you back down here, would then mend. Now, let's go this way. See how much dress is here? It's everywhere. And it's got this other pattern here, so it changes from this to this to this. It's got lots of detail, and I love it. Absolutely love it. So, what can we do next? I've got this kind of, what is that? Shade 68. These are all vintage threads I've got. The one I just showed you, possibly the closest. Oh, I was looking for that bit of fabric. Look at this. I got this out at Bathurst. I'm so keen on violets and pansies and things like that at the moment. I've got them all growing at the front and I want to collect some more. That's almost got a slightly orangey tone to it. It's not spot on, but I think, let's not worry. Let's just put a little bit on it. I need to get some better embroidery threads too, I think. I need to find some really beautiful ones. I've got some really good ones here and some cheapo ones. The beautiful ones were donated. So these are not silk. This is like a synthetic, but that's okay. And the other thing is when you've had enough, you can always undo it and start again. Anyone still there? Got to go after this and man all those comments again and see if anything's out of control or not. So now I'm looking for one of my needles with a bigger eye, and do I have one here? That's going to be my next problem. This one doesn't look too bad. The other thing I've heard is the best needles are tulip needles, a Japanese needle. So when I go over, I'm going to try and find some, as well as some other fabrics to bring back and share, put them online and things like that if I can find some. So this is probably, look, I probably should have done that blue, shouldn't I? That would be less noticeable. But you know what? We're just going to go for it. So all I'm going to do now, I did one lot of sashiko just to hold it all down. Now I've changed my mind and doing something completely different. I'm just going to go over the top. So that's lengthways that way. So let's go lengthways. I don't know if you can see. pretty good. And see, my hands, I've got these little stubby hands, so it's too far over the hoop there for me to go over. My hand's over here going, I want to stretch it further. So my hand wants to come down here, but then it's not the right angle. So I'm just going to do one at a time now because my hands are just not enjoying this, where they're positioned. And I'm not going to go straight, am I? That's going to be my next thing. I'm trying to grab the fabric underneath as well to give it strength. Oh. I don't know if I'm doing a good job of this. But you really won't see it on a dress with that much fabric. Am I putting you guys to sleep? Is anybody there? Anyone there? What a weird one. Anyway, you can see, I'm just going to feel the back here. There's one more bit of fabric. I'm going to go down and come across. You could do crosses. You can go down and then come back and go sideways. That looks really nice. This is twisting everywhere. There we go, that's better. Woo. So we'll go back up along this way. So you can see I'm a worrywart with getting the basting or getting the base stitches down first. I'm happy to, you could just use this one straight over as the main thread and not worry about that dark blue I did. But I like to not have it move, if that makes sense. Now, I have seen sashiko workshops in Sydney and Melbourne too, so that's another thing. But, you know, hey, I'm going to Japan. I should be able to find one there. But if I don't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Cara. It doesn't matter. I found a ring-making workshop in Kanazawa I thought the kids would love. And that was only, I think, maybe 30 Australian. And I don't know what the particular ring is. It's probably not anything special. But I thought, imagine that as a beautiful memory of being in Japan. And I'm always looking for things like that. I'm not a really big fish eater, so a lot of the Japanese cooking workshops, I probably like to do vegetarian ones. But the kids both like fish and raw fish and things like that, and roe. I don't tend to go for it. I've never been a big fish eater. So can you see now? I'll show you a bit more. This is a long live reel, isn't it? I've been trying to put everything up on YouTube as well. We're almost done for that. So you can see I've done this side outside of the hole. I'll do the same on the other. I might just sneak it back under there. We're starting to come together. I always do this. So part of building the slow stitch projects, as I say, just trust the process. When I'm building those panels, like I just showed earlier, this bag I'm building, at first I think, oh yuck, this is terrible, or oh, no, Cara, you've got it all wrong, or you know, all of that. Like what are you thinking? I do all of that. The other thing I should say is try to keep this stretched out. Trust the process and it comes together. So some things I've really not liked until I've got it all stitched down and start to build it, and then I think, wow, this is the best piece I've done. I love this. So it's sometimes it's hard to trust the process, isn't it? Like, look at this, trust the process, Cara. Look at this, you've got holes and not holes. You've got knots everywhere. So I don't know if you can see that. So this is what I thought would be fun workshop too. You could bring things that are broken. We could do, so like the knees in your jeans, or you could do designer holes, like so where you've got a hole in your jeans, or want to put a hole in your jeans and then sashiko it. You could do that as well. I've seen back, like the pockets, sashiko stitch, like various stitches. That looks incredible. And what else have I seen? I do all the denim, the jackets and things. Shirts, I've seen some really cool shirts done like that. And now I'm going to go one more over outside of the hole just to make it look a bit more intentional. So yeah, you can have a lot of fun with this. And I guess what I'm saying is don't chuck things straight away, because then what happens is the op shop sees the hole or the problem and they chuck it. It just goes to landfill. So even if you do this and you really stuff it up, what does it matter? Then chuck it. Does that make sense? I can see my cousin. Hi, Maya. Gosh, sorry, I'm just calling you Maya because I've got some Mayas up here too. Hi there. I want to get to Melbourne soon and see you. Now, I'm going to go, let's go crossways. So I'm going to shoot it through here. So what I'm going to do is run this way now. Why not? So I reckon I'm going to go this way. This will make sense in a second. I might go under this one. And then we can go under that one. Some of those people you see that do really dainty stitches, and I think, wow, how do they do that? Do you see what I'm saying to do? I've got to keep stretching it out so it doesn't kind of want to ruffle in on itself. That's the other thing. All these stitches will pull in on themselves. So try not to pull them tight. And I have to remind myself that too. I'm trying to I sort of want to wrench it all really tight, like we would do normally for mending, to keep things from falling apart. See those little cute crosses? I don't know if you can see them. Now that's the bit where I've mended there. It's getting caught on that. Let's go under there again. That'll be cute. You could do stars, little moons. You could do an eye poking out of that hole, like a really creepy, cool eye. You could do a little cat or a bird cage. So that's all the stuff you can. You could have a patch, like a pre-made patch coming through. Anyway, I hope you can see what I'm doing. And if I wasn't doing this in front of you, I could do this a lot faster. I'm sort of getting it all caught. I'm going to take this off now. It's driving me nuts. I'm getting it all caught, and if you laid it flat and didn't have a camera on you, of course you could do it quicker. The other thing I would love to do, if anyone's done it, is go to India and check out all the textiles. I would love that. So I'll show you quickly. See the shape of the dress. This is the bottom of it. I'll just let that drop. See how it's, that's the bottom of it. It's voluminous. There's a lot of fabric. So you're not going to really spot this too quickly. And that's the beauty of it. So if I really was worried, you could almost go and make another patch somewhere else. Start to make it look intentional. That's another thing you can do. Let's see if I can get this all bunched there. Looks cute. Thank you. I'm actually looking at the comments right now. And that's it. You're not going to ruin it. So it is darker. It's not the same colour. But it's just enough to salvage it when I was the silly one that broke the dress. Gardening. I'll go over and I'll sneak back under and come up here. Try and get closer to you. And of course, as soon as I do that, it's the wrong angle. If you have things you've salvaged or upcycled or fixed, email them to me as well, info@meltvikandme.com. It'd be fun to create community where we can share ideas too, or things that you found were easier, maybe a better way than what I'm doing. If you've got ideas, please share. I mean, this is just what I know what to do. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. But I don't mind things being obvious as well. So in the old days, in Australia, you would never patch like this. This is too shabby. But the way we live now, people like seeing handwork, or they like the fact that it has a bit of a story. And I love that. I just love that. That's what I want to do in life. I don't want to have it perfect and done to skerrick of itself. Although there's I'll find it if you want me to share it. I can't think what it's called, something on YouTube I watched. It's kind of like a Japanese government show. And there was incredible, the traditional stitching where you go in with your suits. The man had a cigarette hole in his suit, and they pulled apart the hole and stitched it, weaving all the fabrics back in, and you could not see the hole. So it would have cost a fortune. It took weeks. It's the sort of skill you can't even imagine someone having, like, just phenomenal. These are the sort of old skills that will die out if people don't learn to invest and things like that. But they're kind of like, I guess, like weavers, that's what they were doing, hand weaving these threads back in. It was like a houndstooth suit. Now I'll show you the back. Did I just cut the dress? Oh my god. No, I didn't. Oh my god, how stupid. That's the back. And so the front, and where did I put it? Now I've lost it. Here, look. So iron it flat. But it's kind of cute. What do you think? And when it hangs, so it's a longish shape. Where do we go here? This is the top of the dress. I can feel it. I can feel where it is. But that's it there. See it? Sorry, I should put it in focus here. So that's it. I'm going to leave that with you. And if you want me to do some stitching on this bag that I'm doing, so this is the canvas tote, the Vinnies tote that I'm doing, let me know and I can set up another live reel. I'll keep working on this today. What I did last night was sit and start to fill in some of the embroidery stitches here. Sharon, if you're watching, there's a bit of the fabric you gave me, this Humpty Dumpty vintage fabric. This is a new bit of fabric I've got. I like putting all the selvages in. Oh, and this is the label off the original blanket, which is just poking out here. So I thought that with someone's name, I don't even know what the person's name is. Julia Green. I wonder where she is now. Things like that I love. So I'm just starting to build now. I found another bird. So that's an original bit of embroidery. And I'm going to add some more of this kind of stuff, I think, on the other panels of the bag. So if you would like to sit with me while I do that at any point, let me know. And thank you. It does look pretty. It's very girly. This is really girly for me. I'm not that girly normally. This is a bit of that remnant. So I paid $4.20 for that. So this is from the Bathurst fabric store I went to, and I think I love this. And I don't know why. I wouldn't have thought originally that would be me. But what I'll do is I use it sparingly. I might just use one flower. I love this section here. I might put that whole section on the back of this. And then deciding maybe a closure, like maybe it needs a big button and a little thing that comes across. And then possibly some lining. And I did find some red corduroy or red velvet. I thought that could be the whole panel in the back rather than this blanket, and do something different on the back. So anyway, that's another video because you've been with me far too long and I feel like I've taken up all your time. So have a good day. I've got to go and check all these comments on Trump and Kevin Rudd now. See you guys. Bye.